What's going on, guys? Dragon here, bringing you a look at my deck profile for my Chaos Control heroes. I just built this deck this past week, took it to locals that same night, and went undefeated. So I don't know how well the deck works, as a whole. I mean, it works really well that day, so that was awesome. The deck's still kind of a concept, as you'll see, and actually, I don't know if it's any better than the anti-heroes or not. I guess that's up for you guys to decide. So, let's go ahead and get right started with the deck profile. Obviously, we play Stratos. That's a given. We are still playing 3 Elemental Hero Neos Alias, and we are no longer playing Elemental Hero Bubbleman. So that's all the Elemental Heroes. As you'll kind of see, the Elemental Heroes take a little bit of a back seat to, I guess, the control aspect of the deck, but they are still, a major player in the deck. If you're not getting them, you're probably not going to win. So there's only those 4, and then to go along with them, we've got 2 Photon Thrasher. Still one of my favorite monsters. It helps you get into your Xyz summons, and putting a 2100 down first turn is never really a bad thing. Even if you can't get something else out, it's really nice to still just put him out in the field, and he can win you games. If your opponent has a card face down, you go to summon your Neos Alias, your opponent goes bottomless or warning or whatever, you just special summon this and go for a game. He's really versatile, and that's one of the reasons I love this card. I prefer Photon Thrasher over Bubbleman, but that's just my personal playstyle. You could probably run 2 Bubbleman over this guy if you wanted to. We've got 2 Thunder King Ryo, pretty self-explanatory, and Thunder King's dark friend, I suppose, is 2 Doom Caliber Knight. This is the card that kind of gave me the idea for the deck. I pulled one of these in a battle pack that day and was like, I wonder if I have another. So I looked through my binder and found another, and I'm just like, well, I wonder if I can incorporate this into my hero deck, and I decided, whatever, I'll just give it a shot. This guy is really cool. He negates any effect wherever it's activated. It's not optional, so that's a good and a bad thing. I mean, it kind of sucks if your opponent just wants to max C for no reason, just get this guy off the field. But it is kind of nice to have Doom Caliber Knight and to kind of force your opponent to make a play they might not want to be making at that point. It's really nice to be able to have these 2 on the field together. It puts your opponent in a difficult position, because if they're going to use an effect, you can negate it with this, and then you can still have that special summon negation with Thunder King. Obviously, if they go to special summon, and you can't use Thunder King's effect, otherwise you're just going to kill both your monsters. But that's really not that big of a deal, because you've already put them in such a difficult position that by that point they're probably only going to be able to kill one of these guys, and you can just go for something the next turn. So it's kind of nice, and plus your opponent might try to go for something like that, thinking that you'll negate it, and then sometimes it throws them off when you don't. So these 2 are really cool to have out together. It's a kind of a fun play. We are using 2 Tour Guide from the Underworld. It's just nice to be able to get that rank 3 Xyz engine. It's cool to go first turn Tour Guides in mind, something standard, something that you don't have to reveal what you're playing. This card and Doom Caliber Knight confused so many people at the tournament I played at. I just had no clue what I was doing. It's kind of cool. Still playing Gores and Honest because they're both really good. You don't want to get OTK'd, and you play plenty of light monsters to make this viable. And our new big guys are Chaos Sorcerer and Blackluster Soldier. Obviously, the deck is light and dark themed, so we want to be able to utilize these guys, get them out, and go for a game with these cards. These cards are game changers, especially Blackluster Soldier. It sucks when they reborn him, but you try to make sure that doesn't happen. Like I said, this deck is a light and dark deck, so playing these 2 is a must. They're really good, just removing a lot of anything from play and giving you those extra monsters. So onto the spells. Pots of Duality, obviously. Emergency Call, of course, and Reinforcing the Army. That's not any different. Still playing Heavy Storm, Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, and Mystical Space Typhoon. And now we're only running 2 Gemini Sparks. I took out the third one because there wasn't really a ton of room to run Crusader of Endymion in this deck. I don't really like playing 3 for 3. That's just kind of my personal play style. If I could have fit Crusader of Endymion in, I would have played the third Gemini Spark, but I ended up taking out him and one of the Gemini Sparks to fit in other cards like the Tour Guides and obviously Black Luster Soldier and Chaos Sorcerer, fitting in boss monsters in the main deck when we previously had none, unless you consider Gores to be one. But it still works pretty well. You'll still see it decently enough. I mean, there are times when you might want it and you don't have it, but it's really not that big of a deal. Sometimes I'll end up siding one of these out because I just don't need it for that matchup. I might need, like, another Mystical Space Typhoon instead, or I might need like Soul Drains or something like that, something that's going to help me out more. There are times when I'll side out one of the Neos Aliases and one of the Gemini Sparks just so I can still have a little bit of the engine, just nothing that's going to become a problem, I suppose. It just lets me specify for the matchup. Like I said, 2 still works pretty well. And then we still got 2 Miracle Fusion. Obviously, there's only 4 Elemental Heroes in the main deck. We do not have the ability to run 3, in my opinion. Like I said, you still see it enough, and these essentially constitute for your third and apparently a fourth one. These monsters are both fantastic cards. You really don't need to go into the fusions. If you got these, they'll usually get the job done. These you can still get live, both of them, if you draw them both. I mean, Neos and Stratos can go into Shining or Great Tornado. And then whatever fusion you make, you can just fusion that away with the other Miracle Fusion or something along those lines. It usually ends up working out. Alrighty, on to the traps. Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning. Pretty obvious. You'll notice my trap lineups don't change that often because I just like generic trap cards. Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 times. 2 Torrential Tributes. 2 Compulsory Evacuation Device. Dimensional Prison, Starlight Road, and Magic Drain. So yeah, essentially the exact same trap lineup. It might be a little bit different than the other build. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's virtually the same. Yeah, this card won me a couple games. It won me against my Fire King matchup because they went to use Circle of the Fire Kings, and this says no. So it's pretty cool. Going to the extra deck. Like I said, heroes take, unfortunately, I know they're my favorite deck, and this is just a concept. I might be able to improve upon it. I've made strict hero builds before. This is just kind of for fun. There's only these 3. With the emphasis on the light and dark aspects, I didn't want to include too many heroes that I couldn't play. I know Super Polymerization's a great card, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like running it. I didn't feel like committing the extra deck space for it when I had other cards that would help me probably just as well and allow me to maintain hand advantage. You'll usually just go into these 2 if you're going to make both, but I included Great Tornado because there are times when you never know, your opponent could pull out a Malefic Cyber End Dragon and you need to kill that for game, so this can let you do it. And Shining is of course your key player. He's going to allow you to get your heroes back, and he's 3,200 generally, so amazing card. Don't need to run all the fusions, though, for this specific build. On to the 1 Synchro, Stardust Dragon for the Starlight Road. And for the rank 3s, I'm playing number 30, Acid Golem of Destruction, Tempo, the Percussion Djinn, number 17, Leviathan Dragon, and Wind Up Zen Mines. So, I don't really like committing the extra space to these, but it's required. You got to do it if you're playing the rank 3s, or the level 3s. Tempo, I'd rather be Levier, but I don't have one right now, so if I can get my hands on one, it'd probably be Levier. He's still really good, though, so if you don't have a Levier, you can still run Tempo and be in pretty decent shape. the other three are pretty self-explanatory. Leviathan Dragon's pretty good to get a dark in the graveyard really easily if you need to. And Acid Golem is really big, and Zen Mines is good for defense, so that's what those guys are for. And the rest are your rank 4s. We've got Heroic Champion Excalibur, Blade Armor Ninja, number 50, Black Ship of Corn, Gaga Cowboy, Abyss Dweller, which is really good. I made this turn 1 against Darkworld, and it won me the game because I was able to protect it enough and then just get out more monsters to go and deal some more damage. And then Maestro the Symphony Djinn, and lastly Gem-Knight Pearl. This won me my game against Samurai, so that was really cool. Just we got down to he only had a Xian on the field, and I had a Neos Alias in hand, and I drew into Photon Thrasher, special summon the Photon Thrasher, normal summon the Neos Alias, and overlaid for Gem-Knight Pearl. So then I just attacked over Xian, and that was pretty much it, because we were both down to such low resources that he couldn't do anything to get over Gem-Knight Pearl at that point in the game. So it's pretty cool. That is pretty much all the cards for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think, and yeah, it's really fun to just goof around with this deck. It's just cool to see, what people react to it with. Everybody I dueled in all 5 rounds, they reacted pretty much the same. They just told me my deck was really weird. I thought it was rather funny. Anyway, let me know what you guys think, and we'll catch you later.